Hey, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that little waiting room music, if you will. If you can hear me, let me know. Just a little sound check here. Just type yes or yeah, I can hear you. Awesome. Looks like everybody can hear me loud and good. Sounds good. Loud and clear. Awesome. We still got a couple of more minutes before we're really going to get started. And hopefully everybody, can you also see my screen? That's the other thing I should ask. And yes, we are live. Yes, everybody can see my screen. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, so we still got a few minutes before we're going to dive into it. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. It's going to be casual. It's just going to be me hanging out with you guys for a little bit, talking niche sites. So, yeah, where's everybody from? I'm always interested in hearing where you guys are listening in from. Obviously, I know there's going to be a lot from the U.S., but there's also probably people from all over the place. So, getting all kinds of answers here. Australia. Boy, it's so fast I can't even read the names with it. Long Island, New York, Austria, Nashville, Tennessee, Portland, Oregon, Peru, Canada, Washington, D.C., London, Arizona. All right. It's where I grew up. And got the OC California, Craig. Caught that name. Paul from New Zealand. Hey, Paul, how you doing? I've chatted with Paul before. Philly, Atlanta, Georgia, Louisville, Denver, Colorado, Delaware, Santa Fe. Awesome. Mexico, Colorado, Spokane, Ted. All right. Bavaria, Germany. Mike in Utah. Been to Utah lots. And we got a Mike in the UK. Hawaii. Aloha. Awesome. I was in Hawaii in September. Love that place. I was on the island of Kauai. I've already got some questions coming in too. Am I a cougar or a husky? Brian is asking. Well, I grew up in Arizona and I graduated from ASU, so I'm a Sun Devil. Gotta be honest. But I'm in Cougar Town. I'm in the Tri-Cities. So I gotta, try and root for the Cougars as much as I can. And I got some jokesters here. We got Brad in Florida. Awesome, you guys. So be prepared with your questions, things like that. I'm definitely gonna try to get to all your questions. Zags are better, yeah. Got some Cougar, Gonzaga, the Washington, rivals, things like that going on here. Craig's listening in his car while he's driving. Hey, Craig, keep your hands on the wheel. Hopefully you make it safely wherever you're going. Jack, no, you're not late. We're just getting started. And we'll give another minute or two here, and we'll get started soon. Who said that? Scott Hoffman. When did any of those teams top the Ducks? Hey, it's hard to argue. Of course, it depends on what sport you're talking about. Football, for sure, the Ducks got it, but Gonzaga, I don't know, you got to watch out there for their basketball team, so it depends on the sport. So, got Dave from Sydney here as well. Got Andre in cold Maryland. Awesome. And so, all right, it's about 5 o'clock. Should we get started here, guys? Obviously, I'm excited for everybody. No matter where you are from, I appreciate you taking out some time out of your day, your evening, your morning, whatever time that might be, to join me on this webinar. Like I said, tonight is the niche site kickoff, and it's really I'm going to try and keep it low key. Obviously, I've got some formal slides planned here, some things that I do want to cover. But I also want to be able to answer questions, and don't be afraid to take me on a side tangent if we need to. And at the end, there's no pitch or anything like that. We're going to just have a good time, hopefully learn a thing or two. So let's jump right into it here. First of all, some of you know a lot about me and others of you maybe don't. So I thought it would be kind of fun to give you a picture of myself. Here's me on my very first birthday. I was looking at some old pictures the other day, and maybe it's just me, but this picture made me laugh. Is that cake a little bit bigger than it should be for a 1-year-old? I don't know. It looks pretty big to me. But there I am, focused on that candle here on my first birthday. Anyways, I grew up in a big family, so that's why there was the big cake there. Grew up. Here's another picture of me just for fun, again, just to give you a bit of an intro on who I am and some of my background. And everybody agrees that cake was indeed huge for a 1-year-old. So that's what I used to look like, and Jeff is saying that niche bombed, you can tell by the expression. Yep, somebody noticed the $6 million man. Anyways, awesome shirt there. But so there it is again, apparently. But if you don't know what I look like now, here's a recent picture. This is just from a couple of months ago, and as it would happen to be on my birthday just a couple of months ago. And this cake is a lot smaller. So anyways, I guess I eat less cake now. But if you're paying attention, you can also see how old I am as well there on my cake. But yeah, that's what I look like now. But back when I was a smaller guy like this, well, this is when I was, I think, 4 years old. But when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I was involved in something that is called the Pinewood Derby. And some of you might know about Pinewood Derby, others of you may not. But this is something that Cub Scouts do typically. This picture kind of shows you what it is. You basically take a wood block and make a car out of it, and the cars race on this track, and they're all pulled by gravity. And it's a lot of fun for 8, 9, and 10-year-old Cub Scouts. My first year when I got involved, I had watched my older brother do this. I was so excited to get involved, to have a car, and really to win. That was my whole plan, was to win. And you have to know that when I was younger, I was a bit competitive. I'm still a little bit competitive, but back in the day, I was definitely competitive. I mean, I was the kid that was out on the playground challenging everybody to a foot race. I don't know why. I wanted to compete. I wanted to win. It was a big deal to me. So as you can imagine, leading up to the Pinewood Derby, that's all I thought about was winning. But I didn't do much preparation. I thought about winning a lot, but I didn't do much to my car. Maybe I didn't know, that you needed to do all these things. So I had a basic car. I threw it out there on the track, and I thought, well, let's see how it goes. So the very first race came. I was excited, and on the sidebar here, I'm getting a lot of comments of people that are either doing Pinewood Derby now or have some advice for me. But on race day, when I was 8 or 9 years old, I lost my first race. I do remember that for sure, that I lost that first race, but I thought, you know what, it's okay. It's all right, just the first race. Second race, I was excited. Well, I lost the second race, and I thought, wow, there's a lot of competition out here. And but I was still okay. I needed to win a few though. So the next race came along, and I lost the third race. Now I really started to think, what is going on here? There's some really tough competition out here. Is there something wrong with my car? And as it would go, I lost every single race until there was just two of us. At the very end, we had both lost every single race, and now we were going head to head against each other. And as you can imagine, being very competitive, this was sort of my last hope. I'm 8 or 9 years old. Emotions were building up inside. I needed this. Well, the result of the race, I got dead last place. It was heartbreaking. I couldn't have felt any worse. In fact, I felt a little bit like this. And not only did I feel a little bit like these guys, I actually ran out of the building crying and hid in the back of our family Suburban and had a good cry. Hey, what can I say? It's hard to confess. Yeah, I'm a crybaby. You can call me a crybaby. It's all right. But it happened. I felt terrible being so competitive, losing every race. I was crushed. Well, if we fast forward a year, guess what? There's another race. My next year in Pinewood Derby, new block of wood, new set of wheels. I have another shot, and I can tell you what, this year I prepared a little bit more. My dad helped me out researching and finding things that worked, how to make the car a little bit faster. Before I move on, can everybody still see my screen? I'm getting a few people that are saying they cannot see my screen. I'm getting lots and lots of yeses. So if you can't see my screen, I'm not quite sure what it is. Looks like everybody can see it for the most part. This is indeed live. So I'm going to go on with my story here. It's real quick here, but so I did what I could. I came up with a good design. This picture is not my car. I wish it was. This is a cool looking car, but came up with a great design. Came back the next year with some more confidence, and I got first place. So great, right? Well, the story continues here a little bit. If you fast forward 27 more years, which is today, I now have a son that is 8 years old. And it's time to build a Pinewood Derby car, which is why I was thinking of this story in the first place. And his Pinewood Derby race actually took place less than a week ago, just on Saturday. And so as we started to build this car, can you guess what I prepared him for? What do you think that I told him? Well, as you can imagine, yeah, some people are getting it here. I told him of my experience. I said, you might lose. That's a very real possibility. I told him my whole story of how I was a big crybaby and lost it, both my emotions and the race at this Pinewood Derby. But I also told him that, you know what, you should prepare as best you can and do the best that you can. And certainly that you should do all that you can to win, but if you lose, hey, that could be a reality as well. And overall, enjoy the experience. So, I know. So what we did is we researched online, we brainstormed different ideas, we designed, we built, we optimized the car, we did all of these things. And the results of the race, and try not to laugh too hard when you see this picture. This is the car we built last week. I let my son design it, add the little guy and the words. This is the car, but I got involved, of course, to make the wheels a little bit better, weight placement. Doug is saying he knows this isn't live. Of course this is live, Doug. Anyways, and so this is the car we raced, and we had a lot of fun. He won several races, went down to the finals, ended up getting 5th place. But the thing was, he was prepared for whatever might happen. So, go Hobo Jenkins, absolutely. So who cares about this whole story? Right? You want to know about niche sites. Well, to be honest, it applies quite a bit, actually. You might fail on your first site. And don't cry like I did, if you do, all right? It's not the end of the ball game. And in fact, most people do fail on their very first niche site. Learning from others can help. You can do a lot of research. There's things that you can do to start off a little bit better. And as you stick with it, you're going to get better. And overall, enjoy the business experience. I can tell you that if you get involved in building niche sites, it can be a very enjoyable experience. You're going to learn a lot, and try to remember to enjoy it just a little bit. So here we go. Let's jump into it. What is this niche site project that I've been talking about and that we're going to be covering here tonight? It's, first of all, it's a publicly built site from scratch that I'm going to show you the entire process of. We're starting here tonight. My goal overall for this site is to earn $500 a month after about 6 months or so. That is the goal. Of course, I'd love to be able to do that. And I'm going to share everything with you guys starting now. And part of the process, or part of the purpose of the project, is to help others so that they can see how I'm building a niche site and they can go out and build successful sites as well. And I'm literally starting from nothing tonight. I've made no plans about a niche to go into. I've picked no keywords. It really all starts right now. So what can you expect from this project? Well, first of all, tonight, it's just the beginning. I may or may not find a niche tonight, but I'm going to try, and you're going to be following along and hopefully learning the processes that I use to find a winning niche. I'm going to have full disclosure of everything, including the domain, the traffic numbers, earnings, strategies, and much, much more. And I'm going to try to have updates at least twice a month. I'm going to try once a week, preferably on the blog if I can, but a minimum of twice a week is the promise that I'm going to try and make to you. And so I'm going to jump into this, then we're going to answer a couple of questions, and then we're going to go through essentially a live demonstration of me starting the process. So why niche sites? Here's a graph that you may or may not have seen, but it's essentially what's called the long tail keyword curve here. The tail, long tail, refers to the curve, not to the length of the keyword. But if you look at the top left side of the graph, that is where the high traffic, high volume, high searched for keywords reside. They get searched for a lot on Google, but they're also very, very high competition. And this is a mistake that most newer people make, is they figure, hey, if I target a keyword that's getting searched for 100,000 times every month, all I have to do is rank for that, and I'm going to make $1 bajillion and retire early. Well, the reality is they never rank anywhere except for on page 100, and they don't make anything. But if we were to look at the other side of the graph, where maybe the keywords are lower traffic, but they're also low competition, we can we can rank much quicker because there's no competition there. So without much backlinking, perhaps, with great content, we can rank well. And now somebody's asking about the length of phrases. And Mitchell, again, I want to stress that the long tail has nothing to do with the number of words in a keyword. If you look at the graph, the yellow part is called the tail of the graph. And that tail extends on forever. And that is the long tail. It has absolutely nothing to do with how long a phrase is. That's not what long tail keywords or long tail anything is really referring to. It's referring to the graph. So, secondly, strategy and monetization here. So, if we want to find a low competition keyword in Google, there's some processes that we need to go through, but that essentially is the strategy that we want to go for here, is to find something that's low competition rather than just focusing on that high competition keyword. And ideally, my plan for this niche site is to get free traffic from the search engines. My goal here is to find a keyword that has 5,000 or more exact match local searches. Now that's preferred. We'll see what happens here. I have less focus on CPC or cost per click for this particular project because I'm not going to be using Google AdSense to monetize my site. If you're using Google AdSense, the CPC is very important because it tells you how much advertisers are paying, and that's how you're making your money, is through those advertisers. But for this particular project, it could be different because I'm not monetizing that way. I would be willing to accept a lower CPC if the search volume is higher for that particular keyword. Now, ideally, I'm going to find something that has high advertiser competition, or if there's not a lot of advertisers, I want to find a niche that has products being sold in it. So, and then the monetization really depends on the particular keyword that I find. So, and I'm going to determine that in the future. I haven't picked anything right now. I'm starting from a clean slate. So within just 5 or 10 minutes here, I'm going to be actually starting the process of building the site. But overall, here's just a couple of quick more overview. For some of you, this may be the meat that you want to see. For others of you, you want to see the live hands-on. That's coming here in just a second. So to build a niche site, obviously we need to pick a niche, and targeting a specific keyword is critical. A lot of people don't think about this. Finding something that's low competition. And then of course you need to buy a domain and set up hosting and produce content targeting those keywords. I'm going to cover these very quickly. Then of course you need to get traffic. You can rank in Google by using some link building, or you can use social media or email marketing, or there's other ways to get traffic as well. And then you want to make money. That could be Google AdSense, that could be with an email list and affiliate products. You could create a product or do anything more. And then there is ongoing maintenance. This could be more content in coming weeks and months, more links, other ways that you need to maintain the niche site, maintain its earnings and its rankings overall. So now we come, and as I come back here, each of these points could be a huge or multiple webinars that I could cover, really. But tonight I'm going to just cover the first one, and we may not even get through all of that. But how to pick a niche. There's really the debate out there of whether you should go after something that you're passionate about or something where there's opportunity that perhaps you're not as passionate about. This all depends on your goals. If you're planning on building an authority blog, something that you want to keep for years to come, you should go with your passion. Think about things that you're interested in, that you're good at, or that you'd like to be good at. That's really the way to go if you want to build one big blog. But if on the other hand you want to build multiple sites or lots of these niche sites, go with opportunity. The difference being, go after the low-hanging fruit, like this guy here. This boy here is picking the low-hanging fruit off the tree. I'm a business guy. I see lots of opportunity out there. I like to personally go after the low-hanging fruit. I'm only passionate about a certain number of things, but there's so many opportunities out there. So I tend to build multiple niche sites. And tonight we're going to start with just one. So there's lots of different ways to brainstorm, and this is where we're going to start, is with the brainstorming process. I'm going to give you about a dozen ideas here, and be looking at these because I'm going to ask for your input, and we're going to actually use a couple of these tonight, or I'm going to start finding my own keyword. I'm going to let you pick the method that I start with. So if you have a blog or existing customers, talk to them. What are they asking about? What comments are they making? Those can give you lots of ideas to brainstorm about. Forums within your niche, of course. If you read different posts within forums, different keyword ideas. You can use Amazon or eBay, looking at different categories, lots of different ways to get your brain working. And all these ideas are really just to get your brain functioning to start thinking about ideas. Look around you, watch TV, infomercials, TV shows, commercials. Go shopping. There's thousands and thousands of products as you walk down the aisle of any store that could be seed keyword ideas. Use Google Trends is a good way. Use affiliate networks. You could look at ClickBank or Commission Junction or Neverblue to find different ideas. And you could go to the library and spend months. There's millions of ideas in the books on the shelves at the library. Using Google Instant is another way. Try Wikipedia. You could pick up a newspaper or magazine. Anything that you read or see, that could potentially be a seed keyword idea that grows into a niche. Looking at online ads, that helps you know what people are advertising about. Noticing other niche websites, that's a good one too, if you see somebody that's doing something interesting out there. And then you can ask somebody. So I've covered these very quickly, but now it is now time for me to start the live niche research. So let's jump into it. I want your input, and I'm going to do my best to and what I want your input on is to pick one of these brainstorming ideas. I don't want you to give me any keywords per se, because I want to start from the very beginning. So if you're interested in me going over to Amazon and eBay to do research, type that in. Or if you want me to use Google Trends, if you want me to use Google Instant, you get the idea. Obviously some of these I can't do, but you could use forums, Google Instant. So I'm getting a lot of feedback here. And so I'm getting, well, I'm getting lots of different ideas. Google Instant, Google Trends. So let's what I'm going to do here is, and forgive me here as I'm just opening up a browser. I'm going to pull up Looks like a lot of people want to see Google Trends, so we will do that one. A lot of people also want to see Amazon. And lots of different ideas. I'm going to open up a notepad here, and as we go through, so here I've got, for the first one, I'm going to go ahead and do Google Trends. Let's see, that didn't work here. Okay, let me try this again. There we go. So I'm now over here at Google Trends, and this just tells you what is trending in Google for a lot of searches. So we've got a lot of names of celebrities, and you know, I might skip over some of those, but you know, I'll write down some of these here. I've got BlackBerry 10. And again, this is a brainstorming process, so I'm not necessarily trying to pick things that are really good. You know, I've got Where's My Refund? So that makes me think of tax refunds. I'll just write that down. And deer antler spray. But essentially all that I'm doing is just looking at, this is giving me some ideas that I wouldn't have thought of before. And antler spray was something Ray Lewis referred to in a interview, I believe. Dr. Oz. WWE. Anyways, you can do a lot more here. There's also Yahoo Hot Searches, I believe it's called. And if you explore trends, you can do a lot more. And but that gives you just a quick idea. If you have absolutely no idea what to search for, you can do some things there. Now, I want to do a few of these brainstorming ideas. So let's. What else do you guys want to see? What other brainstorming ways do you want to take a look at here? I could keep going here and obviously get a few more. I'm seeing Amazon. Amazon, eBay, forums. ClickBank. All right, let's try Amazon. Getting quite a few for Amazon. And there's lots of different ways that you can use Amazon. But again, you don't have to go with any sort of preconceived ideas. You can just go in, and once you're on Amazon, just to get my mind started, I come in here and I'll just pick any of these categories. So, I'll just pick home, garden, and tools, and and then just click on any of these. Let's click on home improvement, and any of these could be seed keyword ideas. I see the word water filters, so I'll write down water filters. That's 2 words, I guess. Whoop. And I am seeing, if you can see this down here, hand tools, saws, drills. Bike storage, shelving, tool organizers. anyways, you can come through here and just start clicking on anything. And I want to move through some of these fairly quickly because I do want to get through a few of these different ideas. So, so that's one idea. You can also come over to ClickBank. I'm getting several requests for ClickBank. If you just come over to the marketplace, and ClickBank's good because they have a lot of information products and a lot of different types of products that would not be on Amazon or other places. So what category should I click on here? If anybody has any input, there's arts and entertainment, business and investing, computers and internet, employment and jobs. I'm seeing pets, finance. I'm seeing quite a few on health and fitness. So let's try that. I know that overall that's probably a tough niche to go into, but you know, there's so many different potential keywords that you could be looking at as you just read through any of these description. Obviously, you know, fat loss. I'm reading the word cellulite. And anti-aging foods. You know, all of these could be potential keyword ideas. And at this point, I'm not really looking at how well these products are doing. Again, I'm just looking for overall, you know, keyword ideas. I've got moles, warts, and skin tags, all that sort of thing. Let's look at a different category as well. We had quite a few. And yeah, this is the beginning of the process. I am going to be showing you how to take these keywords and finding a really good niche. That's the whole point of this whole webinar. Is I'm doing this live for everybody here. This is what I do. You have to go through the brainstorming, and then next you have to analyze the keywords, which we're going to be doing here in just a little bit. So employment and jobs, I think, is one that I was seeing quite a bit of. So anyways, employment and jobs or education. So let's translator jobs. And certainly these keywords I'm writing down are not going to be the keywords that I actually target on my website. At least I don't expect that they will be. I'm going to go out and I'm going to expand these keyword lists and find some better ones. Flexible jobs. This is just, if you can't think of anything. Oil rig jobs. Obviously there's lots of different kind of things that I could be looking at here. Medical coding, mystery shopping. And then let's look at just one last one, education. And so let's see here. There's speed study. There's language programs. GED tests. And much more. And in just a second here, I'm going to pop over and we're going to start expanding some of these lists. Was there any other brainstorming techniques that you out there wanted me to go through before I move on to sort of the next step? There's GMAT prep. maybe I should ask that in a different way. Do you want me to continue to brainstorm for seed keywords, or do you want me to move on to the next step? So put, type in your answer, move on or continue brainstorming. Okay, move on. There we go. By far and away, moving on is what we should do. But I think you get the idea that here's all these different brainstorming ideas. I've got some seed keywords. Let's dive into actually finding a good keyword. So here I'm going to pull up Longtail Pro, of course, my keyword research tool. You're welcome to use any tool that you want, but this is the one that I personally like. So let's, the niche site project is what our campaign is going to be called. And let's just pop in 4 or 5 of these keywords that I kind of like. Tax refunds. There's a good one. Water filters. I'll try to get 1 or 2 from each sort of category that we brainstormed about. So skin tags, translator jobs, flexible jobs, and maybe let's do 1 more. At least for now. We'll do a couple. Yeah, there are some interesting keywords here. Let's I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's do medical coding. And what I'm going to do is I, of course, always like to have it be the exact match because if you pick broad or phrase, you really don't know how many people are searching for that exact keyword. So I always go with exact. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the domain availability. Why not? And I said that I wanted to find keywords that only had a local search volume of 5,000 or more. So I can pre-filter those out. So let's, and of course here I'm being lenient, but let's go 4,000 to get most of those keywords out. There might be some a little bit under. If they're higher paying, then maybe I'll still want to check out. And for this particular run through, I'm not going to check the average CPC because I might not be using Google AdSense. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And so that's going to go out and it's going to start pulling in these keywords. If you have any questions while this is pulling in those keywords, feel free to fire away. You can see that it's only going to take a couple of minutes actually to go through those 5 seed keywords. Luke is asking about the EMD update. He says, should we still pull the EMD availability? Absolutely. The EMD update, people think that it targets or that it penalizes all exact match domains, which that's really not true. What it was about was really was making exact match domains so that they did not have a bonus anymore. Prior to that update, they used to get an extra boost just for being an exact match domain. But now they're more level with just regular old domains. They might not get quite as much a boost. So you're not penalized at all for having an exact match domain. I still rank exact match domains all the time. So I still like to find those exact match domains. Hyphens, you can still rank fine with hyphens in the domain. I've done that. I'm getting quite a few questions here. And Shane is asking about adding an S or something like that, and would it count as an exact match domain? You can add an S. I don't know that it would, of course it wouldn't be an exact match, but adding even a whole word after the domain, things like that, is fine. I like to still have that keyword in my domain, but if I need to add a prefix or a suffix, I'm absolutely fine with that, and I'll still go for that. And Stephen is asking whether or not we have a static front page on the site. We'll get into that more, but I typically have a static home page so that all my homepage content is right there. And our .com domain still preferred by Google? Yeah, if you can get a .com domain, absolutely, that's still going to be the way to go. And so here we are. I think we're on our last keyword, if I remember right, medical coding. It's just been a couple of minutes. We pulled about 3,400 keywords, and 188 have met our results so far. In just another second here, we'll be all done. And Chris again is asking, yeah, about hyphenated domains. Sure, you can use hyphenated domains. There's nothing wrong with that. And to be clear, all of my domains are not exact match domains. Absolutely not. I have lots of domains that have prefixes or suffixes after them. So anyways, the results are in. We pulled in all of our domains. We've got about 197 keywords that meet our results, and several domains that look like they're available. We filtered out 3,800. So let's dive into the meat and the potatoes here of real keyword research. What we've done up to this point is just generate some keywords. So I need to move some of these boxes around so I can see my screen a little better. Okay, here we go. So, there's a number of different ways that you can start analyzing the results. For my particular preference, I like to go after information-based keywords. So first, let me give you some examples, if I can find some, of non-information-based keywords very quickly. Some things like water filters, whole house water filter. Those are all product-based. Brita water filter. I'm going to just skip right over these for the most part. Not even going to look at these. Maybe the whole house one would be okay, but some of these I'm going to skip completely over and not even look at. But something like how to remove skin tags. Now that's an information-based keyword. That's somebody looking for information. And the reason that I do that is because, first of all, I don't have a product to sell. Google typically likes to rank e-commerce sites if there's an e-commerce keyword. So since I don't have an e-commerce site, I'm going to just skip right over those. So that's going to help me narrow these down even further. So let's say I wanted to look at the competition levels for how to remove skin tags. It gets lots of searches every month. The domains aren't available, not a big deal. I'll come over here and Longtail Pro will go out and start pulling in all of the data that we need to see to analyze this keyword. So I personally like to look at a couple of things. Certainly the page authority tells me how difficult this particular keyword or how authoritative the result is in Google. So a 63 is very high. Anything over a 35 and certainly 40 starts to get a little bit higher as far as page authority. So I look at page authority, I look at the juice page links, and I can see actually here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 results that get less than 10 juice page links. That's a good sign for me because there's not a lot of links pointing to these sites, it appears. Then I look at the page rank. These have fairly healthy. I like to see zeros and ones preferred here in this column. So I'm not super excited about this keyword because I like to see, if I saw a couple of zeros here along with these low juice page links, I'd be a little bit more excited. So, and I have gotten this question a few times about what are juice page links versus a page link. A juice page link, and this is an SEO Moz metric, so you can research their site for the real definition, but essentially one that carries weight within Google. So there's very low quality sites out there, and those links really don't count for anything. So those are not considered juice page links. No follow links typically would not carry any juice, if you will. So either low quality sites or no follow links, things of that nature, would not be considered juice page links. So overall, that's kind of what I look at, and then also how relevant are these results to the actual keyword itself. So how to remove skin tags, is that in the title here? And it is on some of these. Let's see. The number one result actually doesn't have the exact keyword there, just skin tag removal. But it looks like it has quite a few links, so that's why it's doing so well. But the second result does include it. The fourth result, how to remove skin tags, So I would say 5 or 6 or 7 of those contain the keyword pretty well. And I am, for the most part, trying to look at the exact keyword or how closely the keyword. So if it says remove skin tags, I say that's a pretty close match. But then I'm also getting some questions here on the average keyword competitiveness. This is a Longtail Platinum feature that tells you overall how competitive the keyword is. It takes all of these stats into consideration, including the keyword relevancy, so how closely this keyword matches, or how well these results match the particular keyword, and it adjusts, the page authority up or down to give you this KC number overall. So you can see, for example, our page authority on this first result is 63. But it has a KC of 42.92. It was adjusted down because the exact keyword is not included in the title, so it's not quite as strong. And the keyword is not included in the domain either, so that number is adjusted down. On the other hand, there's some results that do include the keyword, and those may have been adjusted up or not adjusted down quite as much. And so overall, we get this average keyword competitiveness of 40. And I like to see keywords that have 35 or less on keyword competitiveness. So I would probably skip this one. It's not a bad one, and actually there's some weak results here. The Squidoo page, Yahoo Voices. There's no page links. So this isn't a bad keyword, but I'm not sure I'm ready to sign on and say this is going to be my big niche site. I want to keep looking a little bit. And like I said, I may not find my winning keyword here tonight. I hope that I do. But if I don't, that's okay. I'm just going through the process here. So I'm going to take some of these that maybe had a domain availability or something that looked good. And, where is my tax refund? That's going to be seasonal. That's probably not something that I'm going to want to look at. What I'm doing right now is I'm going through this list and I'm skipping ones that I think wouldn't be good, or I can sense that they're going to be competitive, like tax return. I can guarantee you that's going to be competitive. IRS refund, tax forms. These are going to be things I know in Google I'm not going to be able to rank for. And right now, this is just sorted by the order that the keywords came in. They're not sorted at all in any particular result order. So I'm just going through here looking for ones that I think might be lower competition, and I'm not really seeing a whole lot right now. If I see some that I'm not sure about, I'll hit this calculate button, and that's going to calculate my KC, my keyword competitiveness, for me, so that I can see within just a couple of seconds how difficult that keyword might be. So that came back as a 44, you know, something that's probably a little bit more difficult. You know, we did the skin tags one, removing skin tags, or I guess we did how to get rid of skin tags, very close. And I'm guessing that acne is probably kind of difficult as well. And let's see here. And there's lots of different things that I could have done to maybe, you know, find some better keywords, or to make them more information based. If I wanted, I could have added, you know, how to do this or something like that. So jobs for 17-year-olds. You know, it has a keyword competitiveness of 32, so it's a little bit lower competition. Let's take a look at this one and see what we get. The results are already here because we pulled those. Now this is kind of an interesting one because I can already tell looking at it that it is indeed going to be a lower competition keyword. It's got all of the metrics that I like to see. So this is a good example. I don't know that I'm going to, you know, say right here and now that this is my keyword, but it's got all of the things in place, at least initially here, that I like to see as far as competition. So let's walk through that. First, I like to look at how well the results are targeting the keyword. You know, the first result isn't targeting it actually very well. A lot of the other results are targeting it pretty well. However, as I look at the actual URLs, they're coming from weaker types of sites, and that's something important. So I'm getting things from Yahoo Answers. I'm getting a result from Squidoo. Ezine articles. I love it when I see Ezine articles or other article directories. That typically means very, very low competition type keyword because somebody just wrote an article, threw it up on Ezine articles. It has exactly one juice page link pointing to it and has a 0 page rank. Pretty weak. Overall, it has some page authority, but that's probably mostly because it's sitting on Ezine articles. So there's a few weak types of sites. I look at the page authority. I'm seeing, you know, here's a 22. These ones that say 1 page authority, if they're newer sites or they don't have any links pointing to them, they typically will have a page authority of a 1. So the domain authority is looked at. But so there's some low page authority here. Lots and lots of results have 0 links pointing to the page. And I have several that are a 0 page rank. So this indeed could be a keyword that meets my criteria. That let's take a little bit. I feel like I could rank for this keyword. Let's put it that way. Jobs for 17-year-olds. But let's look at the overall results. It has a little bit lower search volume, 4,400 that I was hoping for. Pays a little bit lower, 35 cents. Not a lot of advertiser competition. So it's not 100% perfect, but it's one that I could rank for after doing some of that analysis. So it has some things going for it. I'm going to put it on my favorites list here is what I'll do. I'm going to just go through a couple here more real quick because we're actually almost up to our hour here. Maybe what I'll do for everybody still listening, I'm going to go for another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to open it up for question and answer. And I'm willing to spend about 15 minutes if you guys are willing to hang out with me for about 15 minutes. So we'll go to about 6:15. That's about 20 minutes total, my time here. So yeah, some of you asking to go longer. Maybe I will. But let me just look at a few more of these, stay-at-home mom jobs. I mean, most of these, the stay-at-home jobs are, I already know they're going to be harder to rank for, probably. Let's find out for sure. Legitimate work-from-home jobs. I'm not sure I like that one, just because it's 5 words. It's kind of long. Ideally, I'd like something that wasn't quite so long of a phrase. But suspicion confirmed there. It has a KC of 52, as I suspected. That's going to be a harder niche to go into. I've got a few here. Jobs for 16-year-olds. That actually gets a lot higher search volume. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one. And some of you have other questions along the way here. This has a 37, so a little bit more difficult probably to rank for. But as I take a look at these, I've got a Facebook page ranking. I've got Yahoo Voices again, which, hey, maybe they've got some more authority than I thought. Some other things that are not really very strong results. And again, some low page rank, some low juice page links. They're targeting the keyword pretty well, which is why it has a little bit higher keyword competitiveness. So this is one that has potential, would be a little bit more difficult to do. It looks like you could probably put in any age, jobs for 15 or 14 or 18. There you go. There's about 12 niches for somebody out there listening if they want to go after those. But that gives you guys an idea of the things that I'm looking at. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm ready to say 100% that this is the niche that I want to go into just yet. I'm going to do some thinking about it. Maybe I will, but I'm going to do some more brainstorming, just exactly like I've done, going over to ClickBank and Amazon and doing the keyword research exactly how I've done it. And of course, if you wanted to come in here and sort these results by competition to see, which one's got the highest search volume, or if you wanted to sort by cost per click to see which one's paid the most, you could do that and just start with the ones that pay a lot. Medical billing and coding salary has a really high average CPC with a lot of advertiser competition. So it's a very high-paying keyword. And it actually shows a average KC of 32. So let me look at this one here real quick. I may make me go overtime just a little bit. And as I go through this, I do want to mention that you don't have to have this particular keyword tool to do this. This just gives you all the data in one really easy to view place. So salary.com, Indeed. I'm looking to see if there's any lower authority type sites here. Medical billing and coding. It's hard to say. Overall, I'm actually seeing some lower competition based on page links and some other things. So this is actually one that maybe I will actually put this on my favorites list as well. And I'm going to take a look into that a little bit more as well. Okay, so now that I've done that, like I said, honestly, I mean, it's going to take me a couple of hours probably, because I don't want to jump into a niche really, really quick without, fully analyzing everything. But really, this is some of the basic things that I do to pick a niche. So I've got a couple of potentials here that, who knows, maybe one of those will be what I go after. So I've done my live niche research. Let's do some Q&A here. I appreciate everybody spending an hour with me so far. Like I said, I'm going to spend the next 15 or 20 minutes. Travis is asking, what's the next step once you get a good keyword? That was back on some of the previous slides here on how to build a niche site. Next step is buy a domain and set up hosting. These are all the steps here. So let's... Am I planning on doing additional webinars? Very possibly. I don't know. I haven't decided. So far, this one seems to be going good. Getting lots of questions coming in here. What if there is no matching domain name? It doesn't matter. If there's no exact match domain, let's say I wanted to go after medical billing and coding salary. I could just, I could add medical billing and coding salary site.com. I could add a prefix or suffix. Boy, I got a lot of questions here. Okay, where to start here? I got a good question here. How do you know the criteria you've chosen will produce something in the $500 range? Well, through my experience at least, I know that I need to pick a little bit higher search volume keyword, which is why I'm going with 5,000 or more. And, I don't know for sure if it's going to get there. I mean, if I can get to the top of Google for a keyword that gets searched for 5,000 times a month, I think I got a pretty good shot. Okay. Getting some link building questions, how to set up the site questions. I'm going to be covering all those. What theme do I plan on using? I'll be going into all of that. Bob is asking if I'm not using AdSense, how am I going to monetize? That's going to depend on the keyword that I end up picking. I may create my own product. I may sell affiliate products. I haven't decided at this point. It's going to be based off of the keyword that I choose. Lisa wants me to sum up the competition criteria that I look at. Yeah, let's go over that one more time. So when I'm over here on my competitor analysis, there's a few things that I like to look at. I like to look at, are there weak types of sites ranking? So that's e-zine articles or forums or other small niche sites. I like to see results that are not targeting the exact keyword very well. I like to see low page authority as much as possible. And then I like to see a combination of things with juice page links and page rank. I like to see both, like this example here, a 0 page rank and 0 juice page links if possible. So I like to see a couple of results that have a combo of a low page rank and low juice page links to help me know that there's some potential there, that with a few links I could outrank these sites. So and Colin is asking, if I did target multiple keywords for, let's say, the 16-year-old jobs and 17-year-old jobs, he's asking if I could set up subdomains. You could do that, or you could just have one large site. Maybe, and maybe this is what I'll do. I don't know. It's maybe a different approach, but you could try to set up something more authoritative in the niche, such as jobsforteenagers.com. and each new page that you have a different page on your site for, one page for jobs for 17-year-olds, another page for jobs for 16-year-olds, another one for jobs for 18-year-olds, and so on and so forth. That would be another approach that you would try to rank for all of those different keywords on a different page of the site. Site age, somebody's asking about site age. Who was that here? Sorry, I lost who asked that, but they're asking how important that is. It can be important. I do look at it. It becomes more important if it's just, say, a root domain that's ranking. If it's just a niche site, then that domain age, if it's a very new site, that gives me some confidence that I could also rank for that. But if it's, one of these sites, like we had eZine articles up here that was, 16 years old, but the actual article itself was probably brand new, so it's not hugely relevant sometimes, the site age overall. Okay. Okay, Ryan is asking a question about broad, phrase, and exact. So let's come back over here. Like I said, I selected exact. If I had selected, the reason I do that is because I want to know for sure that people are searching for that exact keyword. So let's take, for example, flexible jobs. When I got my results, and maybe I could find it here. I guess it really doesn't matter, but let me see if I can find it here. Although maybe it got filtered out. Yeah, I think it did. But let's say it got searched for 3,000 times each month. The exact keyword, flexible jobs. Because I have exact match, I know that. But if I had broad match, it might come back 50,000, let's say. Because a broad match includes things like, what are flexible jobs? Or flexible jobs for moms? Or flexible jobs in Southern California? Or flexible jobs for telemarketers? It includes all of those things, broad phrases that if I look at broad match and I think, hey, tons of people are searching for this keyword, well, you could be totally, totally wrong. Build a whole site around, this particular keyword, and really, instead of flexible jobs, everybody's searching for, something, related to that because you didn't select exact match. So, and phrase is fairly similar to that as well. So let's go on here to the next question here. Still getting a lot of questions here. Some are coming in too quick for me to answer all of them here. Paul is asking about if a site has a massive number of links, say 22,000, but only has 42 juice page links, is that a good sign? And I assume, is that a good sign for me trying to outrank that site? It's a good sign that, yes, that most of those links aren't passing much juice, that Google is really not, or at least SEO Moz is not viewing that as a valuable link. So there's probably a site that has lots of links that are not valuable, which, okay, I see what you're referring to this result right here. That, this has over 22,000 links, but only 42 are actually passing any juice. Maybe the reason for this could be a number of reasons. Yeah, a lot of them could be poor quality, or it could be that, maybe 22,000 of these are all coming really from one domain. Maybe it has a site-wide domain link and it's on 22,000 pages. It probably only counts once. So that hopefully answers that question here. Still got several hundred of you here on the webinar, so I appreciate it so much. I've got another 5 minutes. I'm here as long as you guys are willing to go. I don't want to, make this too long, but I do love answering your questions. And, I'm not going to cover link building tonight. That's going to be down the road. I'm going to be writing lots of blog posts about link building, about buying domains, about doing all sorts of things. And I'm getting some software again, or some questions about the software. Again, this is Longtail Pro. Of course, as you all know, I created Longtail Pro. It's over at longtailpro.com. Okay. Boy. I'm so sorry I can't get to all of these questions. Somebody's asking about the number one result. That has a page authority of 1. Again, that means a page authority has not been assigned by SEO Moz. It could be a newer page, or it just doesn't have any links pointing to it. That's why it has a page authority of 1. This webinar is being recorded, so I hope to get that up here in a little while so you guys can refer back to this. Pete wants to see the brainstorming list again. Yeah, let's pull that up so you can see that. These are some brainstorming ideas. Was it that, or were you looking for this? I guess I'm not sure. I'll leave both of those up. So you can see both of those. And so, yeah, and let me... And Jim is asking about domain names. Is a prefix or a suffix better for SEO? I've done fine with both. I like to include the keyword and then just what makes more sense. For the most part, I usually do a suffix. So I might add the word review or pro or HQ or site or blog or whatever that may be. Travis is asking about how many keywords do I start with for a niche? I start with 1. I start with 1 primary keyword that I target, and tonight, let's say I started with that keyword jobs for 17-year-olds. That would be my primary keyword, and then I would go on and build content from there. And Dennis is just asking about the keyword competitiveness number. Do I just rely on that only? I do rely on the keyword competitiveness number a lot for my keyword research, especially when I'm coming through my list here and quickly clicking a few of these to see. But once I look at that, I certainly will go and look at the top 10 results in Google and verify all of that information. And so I make sure that it has either low page links or isn't targeting the keyword. So I do both. I look at the top 10 results and I use the keyword competitiveness to make sure I'm targeting a good keyword. And okay, I'm continuing to get some questions about Longtail Platinum or keyword competitiveness. If you can see any of the columns with the little lizard or grayed out, these are Platinum only features. Everything else you do get with the standard Longtail Pro. So the favorites column is for Platinum only. The average KC is Platinum only. The KC column is Platinum only, along with the overall keyword competitiveness is Platinum version only. And again, for the KC number, I like to see anything under 35 usually makes me happy, at least certainly willing to look at it a little bit further. Once it starts to get up to the 40 range, I start to get more hesitant. Anything under 30, I feel pretty good about. If anybody wants to look more into the Longtail Platinum, they can go over to longtailpro.com. All the information's there. That really is not honestly the purpose of this webinar, but I am getting quite a few questions about that. So go over to longtailpro.com. There's a lot of information there. So another question, and I do get this quite a bit, for Longtail Pro and Longtail Platinum, all the stats, a lot of these stats are coming from SEO Moz. You do not need to have any sort of membership, any paid membership to SEO Moz to get any of that data. It's free to you as a Longtail Pro users. Nick is asking, how many pages of content will I start with? I like to start with, the way that I'm doing niche sites now, I like to start with more than I used to. I used to only start with maybe 5 or so pages. Now I'm up to 15 or 20 just to start with, is what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, unless there's any last burning questions. I think there's always going to be a lot more questions, but what I'm going to do is certainly be continuing to blog about my process here on nichepursuits.com. I'm going to be giving hopefully weekly updates. So as I actually find a keyword that I decide to target, I'm going to post it on nichepursuits.com. I'll email out some of those notifications, not always, but some of those updates. I may be doing some additional webinars throughout the process. So I'll cover everything that you need to do about buying a domain, about link building, about content. Do I outsource the content? Do I write the content myself? How to write the content? This webinar honestly barely scratched the surface, but it did cover the most important step, which is the keyword research portion. Because if you get the keyword research portion wrong, you're starting in the hole, and it's really hard to dig out of that. So if we can find a good keyword, then we'll be good to go on from there. So thank you everyone so much. I'm so glad that you're able to join me on the webinar tonight. Thank you again for watching. Now I want you to go out and apply some of the knowledge that you've learned. And again, here's my websites that I own at nichepursuits.com and longtailpro.com. I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar very much. I appreciate you again taking the time out of your day. I'm getting lots of thanks here. But that's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you so much. Go out there, find some great keywords. Follow along. I'm going to be sharing a lot more along the way. This is just the beginning. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.